Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Talk, Season 2, Episode 12, Take 2 on the end.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. We had someone try to hack us the other day, and we've had to go in and reset it up really quickly. But we're back. Let us know we're live as well. It'd be good to see you coming in saying hi. Hi, Holly. Hi, Carol. Hi, Leanne. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
I saw those beautiful flowers that you received today.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's beautiful when you do work and you don't even think about it. And it literally, I think it was like an hour and a half after I finished. I had a knock at the door and I opened it and there was a florist man standing there. He goes, "I've got this for Leanne." And I was like, "Me?"
Lovely. Lovely. Nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Now,
very heartfelt.
This week we got a really special guest, haven't we?
Yes.
And I've literally just met the guest for the first time, and she has an amazing energy. And I know you guys sitting at home watching will love this guest. It's going to be a bit more of an interactive experience this week as well. So we're looking forward to meeting. Did you want to just get the guest in and introduce her now?
Shall I? Yes, I will.
Yes.
So this heartfelt, beautiful soul, she really is. Her name's Faith. She's a healer, a spirit guardian, divine light goddess. She does bell readings, crystal readings, tarot, oracle cards, smoke readings, water, seed, petal readings. She helps solve murders. So much more. She works.
Hang on a sec. Help to solve murders.
Oh God, I don't think an hour and a half is going to be nowhere near long enough.
Okay.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. Some of the beautiful, and she works with, I hope I've said this right, Lemurian beings, blue beings, blue planet, Galactic Council of Star Systems, many winged planetary ones, ocean and earth beings, and many non-planetary beings. She has her own companies called Heaven's Cures, Agape Care Wellness, and We Sustain All.org, as well as Faith Mystic. I think they're
very
all
brave. I'm glad you pronounced that, by the way. Also, guys, if you're sitting watching at home, we want to get this out there as far as possible. So please, please, please share. We are going to do the free giveaway this week, either a healing session or gosh, I almost forgot what I am. Of course, I'm the medium, so a free reading. Okay, so please, please, please share away, like and share, get it out there. We'd really appreciate that. We want to get as many people as we can subscribing to our channel, also to connecting with us. There's a lot of information that we bring to people, all free as well. We're giving up our time, and we'd love you to interact and engage with some of the information that we have. Okay, having said all that, this is Faith. Good evening, Faith.
Hello. Good evening.
Welcome to Spiritual Talk. Thank you for coming on and agreeing to be a guest.
Thank you also. Thank you for inviting me, both of you beautiful souls, and all of you who are present.
Whereabouts are you in the world right now?
It's called California.
Beautiful.
Northern California.
Beautiful.
Yes, near San Francisco areas.
See, California always reminds me of somewhere sunshine and beautiful weather, but it's not, is it?
There's clouds and rays of sunlight, mini rainbows, lots of green recently. But it does also get golden and very sunny, very bright. So we have to be very careful as gardeners here.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. I'm jealous already because we got rain. We have constant rain here about 80% of the year.
Sounds amazing.
So on Spiritual Talk, we like to ask our guests where things began for them. When did they first start having their experiences? I mean, I want to say for you, when did you start to open and realize that you were different?
My earliest memories of me, even the ones that my family speak about, they said I never cried. I always was laughing, playing with angels. I remember seeing Yeshua when I was really tiny, And I remember seeing heaven. I could always see them in the realms. I was a child preacher. I would prophesy through songs, and they would let me lay hands on others and heal them. I never knew weight existed. Like, I could always hold them. I could carry them gently to the floor as I'm praying over them, and they faint. And they call that slain in the spirit. I didn't know many things that I did were not like things that everyone did. I just figured that it was okay because I was always accepted for being me. I didn't realize there was like a difference until I got into middle school and high school. But I was always like this. I began to see children who were murdered in elementary school. I got really sick from that. And I would call the hotlines and tell them. But I missed a lot of school because my intestines would shut down because of the emotions of what a burden it was to see the devastations that happened to them. And thankfully, as an adult, I get to help those who actually need help because the souls come to me. They always have. The souls come to me, and then I reach out to the families. The families already found out about me, and then they find me. And then we are able to help them cross over. Usually it's those who haven't crossed over yet that have to get crossed over that come forward. Usually the ones who are in the light, they're in the light. They're not really like, oh, hey, whoo, gonna fly in there really fast. So usually it's the ones who are like right there. And they're there for a reason. Some are the ones who they've crossed over and they come through, but they don't want to interrupt the process of those who need help to get helped.
So having that experience, how did your parents take that?
My parents felt that I was extremely sensitive and extremely emotional. The doctor titled it IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. They titled me that in like, I think 3rd grade.
Okay.
I missed almost a whole year of school. Into the 4th grade, they were putting cameras in my stomach, trying to figure out what was wrong, what was going on. And my mother knew. My father was just frustrated by it all. My father was a sensitive also and wanted me just to get through it and to not tell everyone about our abilities. And my mom's like, well, here, you can be yourself in this church. You know, it was really a lot to have a father who was so like intuitive and aware, but not opening up about it. And me being like, okay, children, these are our abilities. Because I gave birth to children who are gifted. I'm like, and this is what we do. And I've always raised them to be with abilities. So, because my mother raised me to be with abilities. So it was really good until it got to be too extreme. I trusted certain friends. Some I did not trust. Now I'm very careful with my being. I'm celibate. I do not allow others to lay with me until I find the one who is supposed to be with me in that way. Would I allow that experience to occur because of my purity? I shine, like I really glow. Like I glow, and like I glow bright. And so having someone else's energy on me is like drowning to me. So unless they're happy or peaceful and they're not trying to put their energy on me, like you know how some are like, hey, it's so nice to see you, and they just like try to put their energy in on you. And it's like, it's nice when you can accept it, but when it's too much, it's too much. So I didn't know that as a child. I didn't speak, I only sang. And then they held me back in school until I learned how to speak. And my family also helped me to speak. I always sang. I sang because I was taught that I could just sing, you know, and speak to and prophesy to those who need it, to have the messages necessary for them to receive healing. So it was a lot. And I went to a Christian school, and you would think a Christian school would be more open, but it was like one of those uppity 3 years ahead schools and churches. So I went to school there. My grandmother was from Ireland, and my grandmother paid for me to go to that school and blessed me with that lineage and that right to be able to get education. And it did help to be able to speak.
So you have Irish ancestors?
Yes, my family came over on the boats to San Francisco in 1901.
Ah, wow. Do you believe that lineage is where you got your gifts from?
Oh, it's part of it. My mother's very gifted and not human. I don't believe my mother's human. My mother can hear snakes, like can hear reptiles from another room, because I have, like I told you, the Andromedian Christian. I'm not a Gray, an Andromedian. We had this conversation before the video.
Yeah.
Christian has a lot of snakes, and my mother could hear one in a bag who wasn't even slithering. My mother could hear it thinking. And so there's a bunch of snakes upstairs. It was like, no, there's only one. My mother said, it's not happy. I said, it's actually sleeping. It's actually happy. And my mom said, well, it's hissing a whole lot. And it wasn't even hissing. When we came in the room, it was totally asleep in the bag, because we put it in a bag to rest. It liked to be in a womb. Yeah.
I totally believe that, because we had a lady on here from America, from California, actually. I can't think of her name. So guys, you can remind me. She could communicate with animals, and she was a police officer, and the cat told her that the guy that they were after was hiding in the garden shed, and
she must be Lyran. She's part Lyran then.
I don't know, but but she's kind of taken it into her work now. She's not a police officer anymore, and she works a lot with animals. So it's beautiful.
Perfect. So it's with more than one type. So she is definitely a multi-realm light being also. That's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Faith, can you look at people and know their soul's lineage?
Yes, I can, and also see what they need healing from. My purpose, part of the, I have many purposes. Part of the reason why I believe that I have the ability to see is also because I have the ability to do something about it, and I do something about it. When I see that, I do ask permission. I do mention, do they want to have a healing? Because I feel already called to bring healing, because at that point my vessel turns on and I'm bringing forward healing, and just naturally happens. I gotta get this charging. Hold on, please.
Okay.
It's an urgency now.
I love that. Oh, she's just dropped out. She'll be back in 2 secs. Not sure what happened there. Was it the broadband that dropped out?
I'm not sure if that was there or the phone.
I'm not sure. Whatever else, it's just killed her broadband all the way in California. We'll just keep talking amongst ourselves.
So if any of you got any questions or anything, like
please get ready. Yeah, come on, because you are you watch Faith quite a lot. Can you tell us some more about Faith while we're waiting for Faith to come back on?
Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful to watch her work. How she doesn't have to see you face to face like this. She could connect with anyone on our list, and she, with your permission, tune into your body and know exactly what needs clearing, tune in. And then she would sing or work. It's just beautiful. It really is beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. I hope she can click back on again.
Yeah,
she's just such a pure soul. Like, just her light, you can just feel just buzzing off of her. And I mean, some of the things that we touched on, she also does a lot with sustainable living and stuff like that to help like forward stuff. She's got she does her own I don't know if you call them tinctures, but she makes like remedies and stuff up for people as well. I think that's within Heavenly Cures website.
She also works with the Galactic. Oh, here she comes. She's back. Hello. Hi. Sorry about that.
I was just saying all the information that I know of you.
We're just talking about, because Leanne follows you quite a lot, Faith. I was just trying to discuss that, but so getting back to where was we? We were talking about ancestral healing. I'm assuming that's what we were kind of talking about, like an ancestral pathway with this kind of.
Yes, and it is ancestral healing, because it's every deep crevice in the complexity of what happened to the heart and the mind from the experiences that happen in other incarnations. Something it sits as soul. It's not the soul. The soul is already clean. It's the heart and the mind experiences. If you remember that trauma or that jolt, if somebody remembers that experience, then they're going to have to heal through that experience, especially if they haven't had a chance to go into their deep roots of awareness and awakening. And that takes deep healing. And so if somebody's not able to tell them that, those who are like Fort Knox, or like a locked treasure chest.
Yeah.
That they are important and loved, and it's okay now to come out of that devastation and look and see what happened, what caused them to be protective, because some of them forgot about what that is and what that was, especially if they don't even remember every single incarnation, but they keep watching those movies and those films because it makes them feel at home, except for the parts that are devastating. And then they wonder why they're depressed and going through sorrow and experiences of loss. Why are they watching the things that remind them of things that they've suffered through, or the things that they're already suffering through?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to butt in. So on that point, a lot of people, I had this conversation, funny enough, with someone today. So some people are you saying that some people can bring through emotional trauma from past lives? Is that your experience?
A majority of those who came to get the ancestral healing, because I do sessions.
Yeah.
The ancestral healing session is where I do the healing and I give the readings and the detailed information, like who they were, like names, planets, specifically planets, constellations, family lineages, other incarnations, family members. I even read pregnancies. I tell them about the baby, about the being before the being is birthed. My children can also do that. And we can see what they like, what they're going to be like, and what they need to help them through, and so they can have a positive experience.
So hold on, I just want to put the brakes on. Now, I remember a gentleman that used to do the spiritual talk with me. He remembers the experience before he came here and choosing his parents. But you can actually tune into the baby in the womb.
Yes, and some of them do. Like one in particular that I found out that I told was my cousin. I found out that it was the cousin because I did the Akashic reading, and I'm like, oh, we're cousins.
Oh,
and
wow.
that baby, I did a reading while I was in the womb. It was the grandpa. I was really close to her, and he had transformed 10 years before, however many moons that is, and was like, I'm ready to come through this one's womb because this one can handle me and I could do exactly what I need. Do you know that baby is playing orchestrated pieces on the organ, like really beautiful, and is only not even walking all the way. It's like barely just learning how to walk. Wow. And is still breastfeeding, like, and was doing that really, really just baby style, like how it's a lot for them to lift up their arms, especially when they have so many roles because they've been breastfeeding. But it's like a grandpa. It's like the grandpa remembered doing that, and they call that little baby Dada, and that was the name for the grandpa. So the souls come through totally like that. And then there was another one who was a grandmother. That one came through. So some of them have been able to choose to come through to do the ancestral healing with the family who needed to have that healing happen in that way. And I noticed right now is really deep about ancestral healing. Like a lot of ancestral healing is happening because that's who we are and who we have been. Mm-hmm. Like, I know I'm destined to go to Ireland. It's destiny. It's part of my path. And my mom and my grandmother and all of my lineages in that side of the family have also been gifted. I do usually speak about my father's lineages and the history of that. But because I do carry very precious to me the mother's side because of my grandma Daisy and my Aunt Nina, and how precious they are to me in those ways.
Yeah.
So I don't often speak about that part because it's very detailed. And if you probably know why I can't speak about all of that. But it is very big names and very big purposes, and known as peacemakers and beings of seers, and knowing how to work with crystal beings and how to charge them, and how to, very elemental like spirituality practices that they passed through and taught me to appreciate and love also.
Awesome. We've got some questions coming in. Effie's brought up something you touched on earlier. Hi, Effie. Can you give tools how to keep your energy clear with what works good for your modalities?
Yes. And it's a really easy one. So there's multiple ways, there's multiple postures that you can hold. Let me turn off the mic. We don't need that yet. You move the cards. And Bringing your feet together is bringing your energy together. Bringing your hands together is bringing your energy together. Taking a moment to breathe in through the center, through the nose, preferably as deep as you can, and hold the breath in as long as you can. Make sure that that breath is intentionally coming through you to wash your energy through. You envision that light pouring through the entire body. You're recycling the light breath, and then you breathe out. Whoo, or just breathe out. You can't sing out, or you could sing whoo, whatever octave you feel to, or whoo, because each octave has a frequency and an intention. So what are you cleaning? What type of energy? Is it from your heart? Whoo, or whoo. But there's different octaves that do that. So learn the notes if you want to find a way to do that naturally. Another way to do that, if it has to do with clarity, is holding the thumbs. Intentionally bringing that energy in, because it's also holding the energy, bringing the energy through, but also intentionally bringing that forward. Is somebody going at your heart? Is somebody going at your mind? Bringing a protection of that energy from you. Another way to do that is to center, breathe in light, and just hold that in and do it like that. If you don't have a moment to put your hands and feet together, you can do it in an easier way, which is just literally breathing in as deep as you can. I like to do 5 breaths in and hold that in as long as possible, and then sing through. And then you can also do that for 5 times, which is positive change and positive change. Putting intention into everything you do is going to help. Dead Sea salt baths also are really very purifying. If you feel that somebody's sticking energy on you, that is actually the sea. Like, I love Dead Sea, but if you're from Ireland, then you should get the oceans from their salt. I believe every single place that we have salts are sacred. I've been dabbling with the salt medicine, and I believe that once you acknowledge your roots and to the depths of who you are as a being, as a soul, and your footsteps of your tribes, and you can get the salt that can help bring the most protection to you in the ways that you need, because then you can call in their help also to bring that through. It's more honorable for your soul in those ways.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a lot of information there. In terms of, obviously, energy and vibration for the breath, you're kind of filtering out for the physical being, and they're on a cellular level. In terms of the octaves, would that actually... Is there anything to avoid? Is there a certain frequency to avoid?
Yeah. So if you're going to sing, don't sing until you have enough breaths in you. So if you have to do 5 breaths, you have to breathe until it doesn't cause, so you don't feel pain through your neck or through your chest area. Usually grief or pain is carried in those areas. So the breath of light and protection usually is doing a lot of protection over the heart areas, any grief, any heartache, any pain, anything that feels like an injustice of the soul or of the heart. And then that's detached. Then the singing can come through to really make sure that that energy is cleared out. The singing is more so a frequency of an intention, but you have to make sure that you're ready to sing through that experience. You'll notice that you're not, if you continue to feel painful areas in your body, when you work to practice that breath, it'll show you the areas exactly where you need to do the cleansing at, or where you need to do the healing. Some moments you might have to take the salt bath to really cleanse that off of you.
Yeah. Oh, there's a comment here. I was just trying to read this. It's gone into here. Thank you for the beautiful topic. Illness such as addiction often travel down generational bloodlines and ancestral lines. Trauma continues to destroy the souls until brought into awareness and healed. Love you guys. Wish I could stay. So I'm not sure that was, but thank you for coming in. That's another thing. Do you work with addictions and how to heal addictions with that?
Yes, actually, I have. I've helped a couple of clients, a regular that came until getting completely off medication for some of the trauma of taking medications or taking certain types of drugs, and feeling like that was necessary to get through things and then changing. There's somebody else that I help in the UK. Like, a lot of my clients who I help through the addictions are in Australia or the UK, or in the streets. I also help the ones who are in the streets to get clean. I give them some of my products because my products can help them to heal, so they're not in pain, so that they're not relying on substances to take away their pain. But I do help those who are working through that. My product, Ancestral Awaken, also, and those who are local, they also suffer from similar things as the ones who contact me from the UK to get clean. And I give them the Ancestral Awaken because I can, because it's easier to give it to them or ship it to them here than it is over there. So it's not as popular to ship over there yet. So I have to help them, teach them botany, teach them other options. So I give them things. So if they're out of country, I give them other solutions and other options, because I don't want them to have to buy something that costs $36 to ship, you know, when I'd rather have a hub over there and do it over there than waste them like that. So I'm like, get guarana, get elutho root, get maca, so that they know which ones to get. I'm creating a rehabilitation center, and I'm also creating a holistic healing hospital in Kenya, Kisumu, Africa, for those who would like to have holistic healing. And some of them do suffer from different types of addictions, from pain medications and other types of opiates. So I'm also creating a form of rehabilitation for them, which is plant-based and holistic healing habitats. I do create holistic healing habitats for those who are getting medicated instead of getting medicated. So they have a safe habitat to go into. Those who want to get medicated and they want to start working on holistic habitats, then they get to have the option of doing that in those habitats, and also receiving a tea that is counteractive of the chemicals that they receive, so that it's not as harmful to their bodies. So I'm creating options and integrations. The rehabilitation center in Michigan that I've created is like, I believe that light grids are important. So a lot of those who are working through rehabilitation, crystals create light grids. Like, that's what I do for the locations for the tiny homes, is light grids. Also more organic, all raw diets, as raw as possible, as natural as possible, like soupy teas. So get into the plant medicines. What is it that you want to feel? What is it that you need? And how do you get through being functional and feeling comfortable? So diving into lavender, diving into Ayurvedic options, just different things that are available everywhere, mostly via online options.
So Faith, can I just take us back a little bit? Because I know a lot of our viewers and people that watch it on catch up won't necessarily have come across you before. In essence, can you talk about some of the services you offer, and the healing approaches you offer? Because you just mentioned botanics and plants, etc. But can you be a little bit more, describe what you do? So if someone comes to you for some healing, what can you offer? Oh, so much. I know that's an open question. There's going to be so much.
I was like, wow, it's a big question.
That is a big question. I'm so sorry.
It depends. So give me an example.
So, okay, say if I've come to you, I've never met you before, but I've heard you're a healer. But you're so much more than that. You know, let me put up the banner for all your sites that you have. So heavenscure.org. What is Heaven's Cure?
So Heaven's Cures is a cultivation of sessions, sacred private sessions. They can be where we meet. I do events. I do public events. I do public speaking. I do public singing. I do ceremonies. Also, I create organic, sustainable, holistic products that are like more like my salve I've made is over 32 ingredients, possibly. Yeah, about 32. And I have crystals in them. I also have them created like a special way, ancient way. And so it's very blessed. And all of them I make very blessed. I have anointing oils. I make sacred intention bath salts, elixirs, the elixirs that I use for the rehabilitation. They are the Encephalon Awaken, and it has a big eyeball on it because it helps those areas of the brain that were kind of going through a lot, thinking that they needed things that they didn't need, and really helps them to center and to focus and to see what is important so that they can strategize and function. And then also is like a purification. If it's a small amount, it can help them rest and have prophetic dreams. If it's a large amount, they feel like they have superpowers. And I've heard stories where they lift like TVs and things, and they're not even supposed to lift heavy things. I'm like, you should not, just because you could do it. Just don't do it yet, because I'm very careful. I want to make sure everyone is aware, it does make you feel like you have a lot of strength. But that is taken in sips by those who are rehabilitating. And it's safe. It's taking them off of methamphetamines and cocaine. And I don't know about the heroin cases because I didn't give it to somebody on heroin yet. I don't believe. No, I'm being told I did. And it did well. Yes.
Wow.
So I've helped a lot. It helps them get off Adderall medications, the Encephalon Awaken. And I make sleeping potion. I also make intention salves, tons of lip gloss, like actual lip gloss. That's intention lip gloss. I do so much. I do a lot, and I do customized products. I make cures. So those who are said to have certain sicknesses, I create for them cure options to help them. And I have trees here that grow that are very special, that are helpful to treat the C word, to help. Oh, there's Lucy. To help treat those who are said to have cancer. And it's called Liquat. And it's very much, very, very, very special. So the treatments that I make that are customized, I do raw. I do gather. I do get real leaves and fruit. And I have to let this kitty in, otherwise.
The Lucy is the cat.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I kind of just going back what you've just said, Faith. Intention lip balm or lip gloss. Now, so why intention? What's the link here?
It's easier. It's easier and less. I guess imagining that there's a control issue when it comes to somebody's intentions when they put on something like that. So many are like, oh, this is for love and that is for another. I'm like, that it does help and that is beneficial. But there's also that moment when we're like, I wish this one product can pretty much do everything. And the amount of what goes into what I create is so much. So it pretty much can do whatever high vibe, pure light intentions necessary to help bring about sustainable wellness in those moments of sustaining, feeling peaceful, feeling positive, having positive experiences. So it's created with really pure intentions, with very pure light and all organic. And I love organic because it's okay to eat. So even my salve is edible. What are you doing behind me?
Wants to be a part of the show.
Yes, it's the butt.
Never work with children and animals when you're live. That's what they say. So I've got a question from Effie. Hi, Effie again. I've just lost that. Here we go. So if a client came to you, can you scan their body, mind, soul, and advise what they need healing in certain areas, etc.?
Exactly.
What cell memory was carried over, as a few examples? Yes,
I can see that, and it's interesting that you say cell memory because some of their joints, some of them, if you've ever noticed, some beings are born and with certain things about them because that is something that was remembered in their creation, something that's part of who they are and doesn't always have to be that way. I do believe that it is possible to help. I help beings who have been injured and they just didn't feel okay. I've helped different types of situations, but I really wish that I could create like miracles to be able to make somebody's finger grow back or something like that. I was working on someone's knees before. His legs were both amputated. He was an ex-construction worker owner. He owned his own construction agency, and he started to get nubs. But I put my salve onto somebody who had their leg amputated, and it started to regrow the bone the tissue and the skin and the legs started to get extended. And I was like, look, you can be I'll give it to you for free. And she said, no. I said, why not? She said, because it was too hard to have a leg. And I didn't understand that until somebody later explained to me in a moment that, you know, it must hurt a lot for them to have that, because the little nub, it must hurt a lot for them to have that. And she had a longer nub and it was infected. So she has it less bad as she'd had it before. She just didn't like having as much pain. So she wasn't thinking of the leg as a leg. She was thinking of it as an object that hurt. And she didn't want to regrow something like that. And so I honored her, and, you know, I gave her enough salve to help her heal her skin so that her skin would heal and it wouldn't get raw anymore. And it worked. So that's pretty good.
Wow.
Excellent.
I've also heard you a few times say that you're helping with sustainable living.
Yes. So we have communities, and which is really exciting with the orphanage and the rehabilitation, is that the community is a place where they can go to that's not back in the street. It's not back in that environment or in that living situation that may have caused them to feel like they needed to be in that. It's in a safe place that is off grid, that no cars, no trucks, no vehicles can get to. Only one road leads in. And that's to make sure that there's not anyone who's unwanted who gets there, who puts any drugs or anything that's not appropriate for them to receive. It's totally a safe, sanitary place. That's all plant-based. We're okay with plant medicine. Some of our social workers are shamayas. So if those who got rehabilitated, they have shamayas too, who do spirit work with them. There's a bonfire over by the lake, and it's really beautiful. It's a place to really heal and cleanse through certain things. So they get to have a spiritual journey experience if that's something that they're interested in also. But it's not necessarily plant-based. It's also just the elements, you know, having a lake and having the fire and having somebody with the sage and with the palo santo or with the resins of pine sap or oud or whatever is necessary to help in that experience.
Awesome. There's so much more that we haven't even touched on yet. Can we talk about the Galactic Council that
I was just going to say that. All the energies you work with.
Yeah, the energies
it's
you
like
work with.
I intertwine them together. So it's a lot. One question leads into like...
Yeah. So where do we start on that one? So can we talk about some of the entities that are coming close to the Earth at the moment? It seems to be quite a lot more than normal. Do you have any idea what's happening at the Earth at this moment in time? Is there something specific? That's kind of a loaded question, I know.
Well, when you asked that, I was reminded of the vision of what you were speaking of. When you mentioned grace, I see that. I see the energy of what you were speaking about, and I've seen it I've seen it actually physically there once it's pulled out of them. And the energy is a black, and it could also be a charcoal looking substance.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for playing the good song. And that substance is energy. It's a presence. It's an actual somebody whose their planet exploded. And because of that, they were misplaced. And they needed to go into something to be able to be there, like that helped them to exist, they thought. What I've had to do with my awareness of them in my work and in the work of my intentions for all creation is to create a place for them that is not inside of Earth in that way, but it is a different realm that is like to them, like their own home, because they don't have a home there. So we have to create them another planet. But once we have to figure out what's happening with them and who they are completely, because right now they just need to be in their healing space outside of others' bodies and remember what it's like to be them. And then we can figure out what's supposed to happen with them energetically. I already tried to create a place for them, and it wasn't as sustainable for them because their energy would consume it. So we had to find a safe place to put them where they're happy, and we succeeded at that. Now there are still some of them out there that are affected from that energy. To help all of them would mean that those of us light workers must acknowledge those who are working through that, and in our intuition, breathe in that breath of light and shine brightly outwards. Where our light shines, it doesn't seem to want to exist in those places as much. It likes the darkness. So you said that being was crying, and she was going through something emotionally. She was distraught, and her eyes did not look as if she was there. She was probably thinking about that experience, and her whole vessel was in pain. So that thing was like, oh. And, some of them, they get there at different points. They cannot exist in Rh negative blood types because the Rh negative blood types push it out right away. And it also doesn't have the chance to sustain or live there because the Rh negative blood type would destroy it.
So I've got you talking about this. So when you have these trance mediums that work in the dark, and they will only work in the dark, and they have this black liquid come out that forms, is this part and parcel of it?
That is another type of energy, but they do have a little drop. They do have some of them have some of that. Like when you say that, I'm seeing an example.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that they have a little bit inside of their kidney that can get cleansed through. And so when you see that there's anything in them, and then you could see, because some are working with the depths of their sorrow, they're not acknowledging the light part of the positive experiences, and they have to change that. So once you acknowledge where it's inhabited at in them, bringing light to that intentionally. Please don't keep jumping on the computer. You always do that.
Yeah, sorry. We got carried away then. So, okay. How do we need to protect ourselves from some of these beings?
Protection is imminent. All of us must be aware. Protection is imminent. What now is not a joke. It is not a moment for waiting. It is a moment for action, for doing this, for preparedness. There are multiple galactic light tribes who are surrounding. There are multiple ships. And the governments and other beings that you are aware of are acknowledging and aware of their presences. Mm-hmm. It is okay. There is peacefulness. They're not seeking to harm. There is one particular ship that there is a concern of for some. For me, I am not concerned of that. And I feel that that there's many who have been here who were in past commanders to different sorts of crews. And they have started to awaken. They will not allow something to happen that is devastating. There's many who are awakened who are here. So anything that is thought that there's some impending doom, be aware that many of us have come through the wombs of our loved ones. We've come awakened, and we are aware that we are here. And we're present with each other here. And we know that it's about peacefulness uprising together. So there's not an impending doom to expect. There's guardianships that are present. There's loved ones who are watching over us. And there's a ship out there that doesn't really have a commander because the commander's already awakened, and it's not a commander in that way. It's more of a student learning how to love and how to experience and forgiveness and healing and light. And I do believe that those inside are watching and they're transforming. So I am not afraid, and I don't feel that others should be afraid either. There are some planetary beings that some want to come close, and I know that they're trying to startle and scare others to believe that they are coming close, but there will be an intervention, and there's not a need to be concerned in those ways.
Awesome. Can we go back to more holistic ideas in terms of the individual, especially in light of us or humanity being awakened? And the higher vibration that we resonate at, the easier is our transition. Is there, or could you demonstrate something of what you do with people to help them to either align or to increase their
Yes.
vibration. Would you be able to demonstrate? By the way, I don't mind being a guinea pig.
I was going to do it for everyone who's present.
Oh, awesome.
Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
What do you need? Do you need anything, or are you just gonna?
Maybe just be.
Okay.
You could breathe in light to really center into your heart open experience, to be open to your loved ones and feeling that you're loved. Your house does smell lovely, Paul. There, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I didn't close my eyes in case I fell asleep, so I was a bit worried I'd go off.
It happens. Yeah, I was saying that some more tea with honey. I was like, you look like you're thirsty. I was looking inside of you, and you look like you're thirsty. I was like, I feel like you need to hydrate more inside of you.
Yeah, I did.
What is that?
That's just water. Just water.
Okay. Is it in plastic?
Oh, it is. Yes. That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah. It has some. Close the lid so it doesn't hear me.
Okay, hold on. It's fine. Okay, closed.
Okay, so it has an ability to receive the plastics. In the plastics, there are chemicals that are similar to bipolar medication. And the tests have shown that the water shows traces of that in it from the chemicals, from the plastic on the bottles, that if it's in a heated or if it's in a warmth, that warmth and the heating causes that to go into the water. So if you ever have it, make sure that you get it right away. You put it into something and you make sure that it can be in a cool place.
It is cold, so I'm hoping I can
And it's
drink
cold. Ooh, and it's just been blessed. Ooh. There.
Okay.
Yeah, it's blessed.
I'm not sure. Okay, it's cool. I'm
I tend to put my water into my singing bowl so that when I'm drinking it.
Anything inside your rooms, any crystals right now are blessed. Like I could smell your house, Paul. I smelled you too, Leanne, but I don't want to tell you that you smelled nice. I don't want to creep you out.
So I didn't quite hear what you said. So you smelt my room?
I smelled like around you. Yeah, because first I was able to see inside. I was like, oh, look. And I was like, I wonder if that would be helpful for you. And then I could smell your room and I could feel your energy. And I was like, oh, you have like a very, very specific energy. And it feels comfortable. It feels very organized. It feels very neat. It feels very, but there feels like moments when it's like that. But if it feels like you mend that, like you remedy that. And it's just kind of like you're beautiful, calm, and you're also beautiful with your ridges. And it's really beautiful to see your spectrum of presence in that way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You. And this is not one of those computer screens. It is a real background. This is my cushion.
Yes.
So yeah, it is my real energy in here.
Yes,
I do a lot of my work
in the details. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
thank you for that. That was lovely. So the vibration of your voice, that was something else, and it was a higher frequency as well. And I'm so bad at remembering people's names. There was a gentleman we had on, a throat singer as well from Canada. I don't know if you've seen him. And it really reminded me of what he did as well with his, but he very much was focused on the Om. And it was a real deep Om, but that vibration, that energy, that healing vibration.
Which
Oh, how did you do that?
I can do it. I do that when I sing too.
Oh,
it's good. Yeah.
So he described that as your voice being open to it, your voice box being open, being able to get to that level.
I do that in moments for certain medicine journeys. I'd call my music medicine journeys. I don't believe that we need to take something or to put something on to receive that kind of an experience. I believe that because it just feels like comfortable, and the music is like right there, and it makes sense to, if I can sing those octaves, to sing those octaves. So I sing multiple octaves, and I'll sing them together and harmonize, and I actually can make multiple sounds. It sounds like I have multiple voices some moments, which is really nice. I like to do that. It's fun. If I could master that, if I could purposely make that perfect, I would.
Okay. Can I go back to another thing that you brought up earlier? Carol's just asked a question as well. Do your medications have to go through any testing, like the botanical stuff or the cells?
They're not medication. They're considered. They're not considered medication. They're considered holistic products.
Okay, guys, I would recommend you go on, check out which one would you, if you're looking for a more holistic products, which one would you recommend? WeSustainAll.org?
Yes, that's the WeSustainAll.org. The one with the rehabs, the communities, and the orphanages are Agape Care Wellness, because that's all one thing. And we have gardens and hospitals that we're working with there. So we have the holistic, as a holistic practitioner and as a holistic creator for medicine for them. I make it in salves, I make it in elixirs and syrups. A lot of my syrups are the elixirs I'm speaking of. I make them as syrups so that they last longer. But if you let them ferment, if you let them last for over 8 months, they become a wine. And they become very potent and extremely potent, like to the point that you probably should sip it. You don't just drink it after that point.
Oh, okay.
You have to sip it.
So do you ever have where people will book in for a certain treatment, but then you're with them and you'll know that although that's what they wanted, that's not what they need?
Yes, and that happens regularly, where we'll have that session together, and then I will include the expansions to what's necessary to help them, because they're working through a lot. And it's like, as someone who's sensitive, my hair does a lot of protection, but can you imagine, I just have to sit on there like brushing my hair from the energy of the experience a whole while. It's too much to go through. So what I do is I'm like, I acknowledge that you're working through it. Is it okay that I do this depth? Because loved ones have come through now and they want to transform. That happened just recently. Someone called, and that happened just recently. And there's about 3-4 family members who came through to get transformed to the other side. And even there's 5, 6. There was 6 of them who appeared also. The mother transformed, and then the grandmother. So it was really nice to see their souls together too. And then just to have all of them, it was such a beautiful family reunion to do that. And then I offer also to give them the cards and the messages after, because if they want to give me with more after that point, which they always do, which is really loving, because I have a whole family here. And I'm thankful for that exchange. And they do. And I don't have to ask anything for it. So it's nice. But usually I will get to the whole reason that they came. And I squeeze all of that in there, the best that I can, in the midst of the whole thing. Like I will talk to them and do that. I know how to orchestrate things. I lead, and I'm good. I'm okay with that, to integrate the experience for all of them to feel heard, and to help that loved one feel heard too.
Okay. Could
Also,
you tell us? Oh, sorry.
No, go on, Ian.
No, I was just saying, can you tell us more about some of the beautiful energies that you work alongside? Like I give a few, like the blue planet, blue beings, winged.
So we work together to help save those who are lost, who need help, who need they need direction. A lot of moments we come to them in their dreams. They see visions or flashes of us. They think it's like a daydream or like their imagination, but we're working on them, on their memory. It's so flashes of light. We'll bring flashes of light to help them to open other areas of their brain, to help them acknowledge their soul's worth and their hearts to be able to heal. Once they acknowledge their soul's worth, their heart begins to heal because they begin to feel. They begin to feel compassionate for themselves, for their experiences. They begin to realize that wasn't normal. They begin to realize their voice is important, that they're ready to talk about it with somebody, that they're ready to experience what it's like to feel relief and peace within. So we're working on them psychologically, emotionally, and physically. There are some planets that we are rebuilding and that we're working on, star systems, constellations that have to be mended and treated. Some of us have to help heal from the experience devastated there, so that the loved ones who do reside there can feel encouraged to continue. So we're here working. We're also at multiple intentions, multiple locations, and but focused here because we chose to come in here. This is a melting pot of creation, and Gaia is very much part of who I am and who we are. Without Gaia, we would not be able to sustain to even walk around, because we would be too faint to even get out of bed if we did not have the nourishment, if we did not have the waters or the air, the fires, the soul. Welcome.
Also, so I know you spoke briefly about communication with loved ones. You offer that as well. You do offer readings, but are your readings, how can I say, like going to see a medium, or are your readings done differently? Do you look at the whole rather than the kind of the one part? Does that make sense?
Well, I want to admit something, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's very confusing. Being that I imagined that a medium was someone who is allowing a soul to come to talk through them, like hi, was Anne and now Susan. And so I was like, I'm not open to that to happen to me. I'm very protective of my soul and my vessel. Yeah. I've always been very much, my soul wouldn't even leave when my body had flatlined. I continued to be present. My loved ones came to me. I saw my loved ones, but everyone's like, you're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to go. I'm like, okay. And it just happens, you know, I'm not letting go of my vessel. I'm not going to let someone come in and talk through me. So I don't believe I share that likeness. And I was told by one who says it's a medium that the being hears them talk to her, and the other did not. It said that being said that they allow them to talk through them as a vessel that is open to be possessed by them. So if it pertains to that, no. But I do hear them. I hear and I see multiple realms. So it's more than a movie. I could see inside the home. I could smell, I could see, I could taste, I could feel. I can find lost items. Some moments I was asked to do that. I told beings to stop calling me to find things like that because it was just too much. I didn't like having to find their keys. So I was just like, it was just too much. It didn't feel like, you know, I felt like a magic 8-ball at that point. I didn't want to do that forever. And so I can see a lot, like even loved ones, what happened to them, the relationship with their loved ones, what they experienced together, what happened with their communication, how they could heal, forgiveness, releasing cords from that experience, helping all the healing necessary, helping them comprehend the experience, and working as a psychiatrist for the most, not psychiatrist, counselor for them also, like a life coach, to give them motivation and determination, because I could see, not determination, what's the word, structure, because I can see what it's going to take for them to get to where they're looking to be at. So I help nudge them in the direction that they want to get to, because I'm allowed to nudge them, because they contact me, they give me an energy exchange. And so in that energy exchange is them being willing and working with me to get to that point. So it's not me just like throwing them the hand out, like there's some gold and some treasures. Oh, that's what's going to happen to you next. And that I'm not just giving it, I'm telling them that's going to happen to them, but they also have to be focused. And they always come again to have me retell them what they're, where they have come from, where they're at now, and how close they are to that point. Because it's like they're on like that, like on the path, and it's really happening. And they're like, yay, it's happening. But they want to be reassured of the goal and of the prize.
So do you help people find their like, do you do courses or stuff to help people on their road, or is it just like a one-to-one private?
I do private teachings. Yes, I do teach them, because everyone needs to be taught different things. I was doing the public teaching online, and I was even doing it on like a talk show. And what I learned is that some beings are out there and they're not supposed to learn all the secrets. And I learned that like a slap on the paw, and it hurt for just a second. And then I called in my support team, and my support team said, start driving. I'm like, okay. And then I was able to get rid of that energy. I had never experienced something like that before in the past. And so since then, I stopped teaching the classes online on Facebook, because I did not want to continue to suffer in those ways, in those experiences. So now I do private ones. I do them on Zoom publicly, but I don't do them on Facebook publicly. So I do small groups, and I'll do large group if it's on Zoom.
So are they on your websites?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Awesome. Carol has asked here, how do you help with information for the police in murder cases? Can you see the dead person?
How do I help the information? Yes. So for an example, there was a Lovett who a trucker got to, that being had a beautiful property out in the middle of what seemed like nowhere, off a long road. And there was a bridge across. Well, the trucker brought that big rig over and broke the bridge and was responsible for paying for that. The trucker didn't want to pay for it. So the trucker decided to murder that Lovett. And I was contacted while I was singing. I was in the recording studio recording my track, because I'm a singer also. It was called Oakland, and it was about those who were murdered. And that I was told about that soul. And what I was shown was, oh no, that was another soul. I found out about that one when I was inside. Oh yeah, it was there too. That's right. Wow. So that soul came to me, showed me where his shirt was at. He had flannel. That he ripped the guy's flannel off of him, showed where that guy's flannel was at. So they have the guy's DNA evidence. Yeah. And so that was shown like in the stream on the path, like they go over the bridge, walk down down by the waters ran through, and then it went to the other side. He was running, trying to get away from him. Oh, and that guy got a hold of him, and he ripped his piece of his clothing off, and it was left there, and it was there, and they found it. And I found where the shoe, I found different items of the clothes, the body parts. I found where the body parts were at, the exact location where the body was at. I went to Google Earth to give them coordinates to work with, so that they would acknowledge exactly where to go in at. The problem there was that it was uphill, and that it only had animal paths, and they were scared. So they weren't willing to go down on a bungee, and they weren't willing to go up. They were scared. They said that they were exhausted. They took in the evidence, and that was that. The family paid me after about $30 for gas for coming out. I didn't ask them for any money really, except to cover the gas for me driving there.
Yeah. Yeah. Did that actually go to prosecution? Did the guy go to prison?
I'm not sure. I don't have the same phone number. Well, I can. Let me look. No, the sister stood there. He was tried. He was not found guilty.
Okay. Yeah, Carol's asked, did your guide tell you this information?
I was looking. So what I just did is I looked inside and I saw them inside the courthouse, and I saw them standing there. And I looked at the energy, and the guy was standing there with the charcoal energy. He was swarming with that energy you were talking about was on that woman on his body. And the woman, the sister that I met with, was standing there, and she didn't have the witnesses to testify. She had nothing other than the fact that there was a shirt there. I believe that there wasn't enough DNA to prove that it belonged to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, okay.
that's quite sad when you've gone to that stage and you found that and then nothing's happened, isn't
No,
it?
he's because that man ended up dying of a heart attack. I don't believe that he's there. So with his energy, with it all brown and black, he's not even there as a soul. Like I don't see his body there anymore. It's like he was consumed with the sorrow of what he had done. He was eaten at. He was devastated. It hurt him really deeply. Yeah, he was in a panic when he did that.
Yeah. Okay. Can we have a demonstration of some of the music that you do? Is that possible?
Yeah, let me detach from that energy.
Yeah.
For all of us here.
Okay.
It did help another family, though. The police were able to find another family who I was helping at the same time. And that was a gang-related murder, and I was able to identify where the clothes, bloody clothes and bloody shoes were at. They found that they even had his jacket that he was wearing in their closet. So they put cameras up in the places I told them to. They listened, and they did it, and they were able to take care of that. And I helped the mom communicate with the dad until it was too much. Like it was too hard to be there for a whole year. And after that year, I helped her wake, and I gave her a huge crystal to go in her room and talk to her husband with. And they gave me back the crystal, and they're all happy, and it's all blessed.
Oh, beautiful.
So I'm going to do the singing bowls now. I had to add that because the sadness was too sad, and I wanted to tell you it does work. We do get love. They do listen.
That was beautiful, watching the cat's reaction as well behind you.
What's that?
That was amazing.
Fila.
So again, what are you working with the medicine bowls? What kind of level are you working on? Was that just like...
I'll show you. Would you like me to show you what I usually do?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me make this space. So I love to use the keys. I began playing piano before I began going to school.
Okay.
But I don't play like professionally. I just play it my way because I wasn't trained properly or trained like some. Excuse me.
Wow. That vibration is still going. It's making my head spin. So I noticed the blanket on the floor. Does that help with the sound?
Oh, this giant white cloth.
Mm.
This is for a green screen for a whole room. It goes all the way across the room. It's huge. And
Yes.
because I don't like to sit on the carpet because my hair touches the floor.
Oh,
So
wow.
I usually have really nice, these cloths are really nice, and I have a couple of them, but my green screen, I'm missing some of the bolts and things, and I have to get them replaced so I could use it properly. But I've been using it like this. Usually I have this with that as the green screen, the full thing, but I don't have the hardware right now to make it into the fullness of it. And it's comfortable. I'm very much long, and to reach all the bowls and the instruments, it's easier to flow like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you offer sound healing as well as?
I do. I have some healing sessions that are with singing bowls all the way around the body and crystals placed on the body and around the being. And if on the table, some moments there's salt underneath or something that is helpful in the ways that are necessary. I do work with crystals and singing bowls together when I do the sound baths, as well as certain lighting to create ambiance and deep relaxation.
Oh, it's beautiful. That was beautiful. Jill's just put on here. What a beautiful voice you have. So.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice.
So we are going into difficult times. Is there something you could help us with? What's next? What could we do to help ourselves?
Well, right now is about making choices, decisions. Each of us are being faced with extremely in our face choices and decisions, and we have to get organized. We've come this far, we have to get organized and we have to get ready. And the way that we're ready is by doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Even though it seems like a lot, like, ooh, sorry about that. Even though it seems like a lot, there's so many levels and so many layers that we're all working through right now. And we have to continue to expand, rise, expand, and rise. And it's so much, because some moments it's like, ah, and some moments it's like, can I do this? I can do this. We can do this. We're doing this. This is happening. But always be, this is happening. Yes, I can do this. This is happening. Because that's the high vibe way to do it. That's the, I am a being of light. My presence is important. I'm supposed to be here for a reason and a purpose and a cause. And so when we wake with that light, that self-love, that appreciative love washing through our vessel, making sure that it's all positive. And as soon as it starts to get to another sort of thought or feeling, acknowledge what is that and where is that coming from?
Yeah.
And how to work through that and heal through that. But continuously being aware.
Good centering practice really helps. The good centering, like you said about detaching or looking at the emotion and seeing it's not us and not attaching to that emotion. Obviously what's happening in the world, obviously I don't really want to voice it because I don't want to give it the power, but with what's going on in the world, would you align that to what's happening with inside us?
Inside, not everyone.
Yeah.
If you're asking about that energy, Are you asking about that energy?
Yes.
Okay, specifically, there is, I just gotta, okay, there, I finished it. Remove this phone because it's affecting my focus there. So there is while we can't rest in that way, we have to continue to be our strongest even when we are resting. Being protected, making sure we're doing protections, making sure our home is protected, making sure our vessels are protected, making sure our loved ones are protected. What we do is protected. This is really important right now because we cannot allow ourselves to be persuaded to be angry, to get frustrated, to dive into the emotions or roller coasters of emotions, because those who are working through that energy are kind of reacting differently and need to, or not just need, they have to purify and they have to detox and get clean or be helped and awaken and have the pure light of the soul shine through to wash that out of them. But there's decisions and choices. And if they're making choices, certain choices, they have to be aware and totally aware of their choices, their decisions, and how it will affect themselves and others. And to not just rush in ignorantly, ready to stumble and fall and bring everyone with them, because that's what they're going through. Really consciously being aware. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so with the wars, then not being aware.
So that's really the key, isn't it? Consciously aware, consciously conscious.
Well, if that love it, or not love, I call everyone love it, so please don't be mad at me if I call it love it. So if the being who has sought war and battle and destruction on others because he wants to own something, comprehends it's not about owning something or about some past battle, it's about the present and what now is about. And now is about peace and freedom. And just throw in that towel. Don't think that you're doing anything wrong. The elders will forgive you, and just go on with it and heal and transform through that experience. It's not necessary to go after and attack or destroy to prove a point of past that's no longer present, and many of them aren't even here.
Yeah.
And what has to happen is that the new souls who are acknowledge that, hey, you're a president who believes in peacefulness, and that is able to be reiterated, because there's so many who are in America who were from Russia, who are for the freedom of rights and peacefulness and sustainable freedom. And so they're there rallying with everyone else too.
Yeah.
You know, they don't take sides. It's not a Russia thing. It has to do with somebody, some being, not love it to everyone, but some being who is needing to be awake and aware of what's actually happening right now, presently. And it's not about control or war. It's about peacefulness and sustaining together. And we've survived that experience of having to get quarantined and now coming together again. Don't ruin that. Continue with that. Be someone that they can look up to, not somebody that they fear. And I believe that that's something that has to be comprehended again.
The old ways is judging everyone, expecting if you're from one culture that one shoe fits all, and that's not where we are now, is it? It's about individual souls, and just because one person's made that decision doesn't mean to say everyone underneath them agrees with it.
Yeah.
So beautifully said.
Can I ask, Faith, what's next for you? What's next on your journey?
Well, right now we are constructing the details of the biome habitats and the biodomes. Those are due. So we can get started. And that's a big thing for us. I and my engineer are working on that, and the loved ones who own the lands also. They've been really patiently waiting for us to get this close and this ready to where we are now, able to build and construct. So that's for Agape Care Wellness and Centers, and it's really exciting. I've been able to fly to each of those, or fly to one of those locations. Not Africa, not Kenya, not Kisumu yet. But I've been able to see the pictures of the land that we're building on, the doctor's land, which is really helpful. And then in Nevada City, which is close by, it's beautiful. I've been there multiple occasions, and even meetings with those who are inhabitant or renters, settlements there. And it's been really positive. So I'm also working on a new album with Folkloric Records, which is with Jel Levi. Is a music producer, and we have an amazing sound engineer who's some famous metal guitar player named Mike. I don't know the last name, sorry. Who's teaching me guitar, how to sing with the certain octaves and notes, and how to do blues riffs to some of the songs we're recording. I just did a cover not too long ago, Three Birds, and then one of the songs Sade did, I forget, something about loving.
Yeah. Cool, that's a blast from the past, Sade.
Oh, hold on, please. Sorry about that.
That is a blast. Was that
the cat just sprawled out there, laughing at us.
Chilled. Completely chilled. Carl, the cat is now thinking food.
Sorry about that, crazy woman. I'm joking. Okay. My mom is a loud Irish being. Not just Irish, but Russian too, Russian Jew. Okay, so let me clean that energy. Okay. Sorry about that. So where were we at?
Where you are going.
So we have the album. It's healing music. Those are not two songs on the album. The songs that I'm creating are about oneness, rising up, creating unity, purification, sustainability, and being a coexistence together. I teach how to work with magic, alchemized options, with light, with Gaia, as well as with crystals and with spirituality. I help with my frequencies because I do also do octaves and tones. I've been doing this for many, many months, where I create frequencies in the songs to bring about healing and transformation. I do work with multiple instruments, and I make sure that what I do create is a transformative experience. The songs are real songs. It's a real studio. Like I say real songs, all songs are real songs, but they want me to sing like verse, chorus kind of vibes, so that it's proper and multiple takes and it sounds professional quality. So it's going to be another type of album that's going to be for sale than the one that I do online on all of my websites. It's not going to be anything like any of those. Is going to be a whole new creation. So this new album I'm really excited about. And I believe that I've also created a new Oracle deck. These are my cards. So I made my own Oracle activation meditation cards. I'm working on my Oracle activation tarot deck also. And I think it's going to be an Oracle activation deck because the tarot is so much to do. And I do have like birds and pentacles and things like that. And I believe that it does add up to the amount that's necessary for the suits necessary. But I'm adding cards for that one. I'm doing 70 instead of 72. I want to do 79.
Wow.
And my videographer, my photographer also is so patient with me. Is always so patient with me. So with these, we have like this one is about centering and expanding spiritually. It's hard to show you because of the size of these ones right now. But centering and expanding, allowing yourself to be awakened and in tune with a sense of knowingness, conscious awareness, as well as centered expansions and feelingness. So the full spectrum, and then also working with the spider medicine and how that is handled with that centering, with that expansion, how and what we're going to do with that next. And the next card that came forward, and I know, I wish I could like show it to you and you could like see it, and it's like, oh. So this one has dragons. This one has multiple dragons. I do have some suits that have dragons on them. I love dragons.
Yeah.
I have dragon loved ones. So this one is representing the divine primal force, the part of us that is like, I'm going to do something now. Like if something happens and I all of a sudden go, like I will honestly begin to do that. And in this, I'm literally singing in the activation and the intentions to bring forth what is necessary in a way that's positive and functional. And I'm working with the dragon's energy also. A lot of the, I believe it's a specific bird from Peru, from the jungle in Peru. I have a headdress on that I've been gifted for some of the photos for some of my music video also.
Yeah.
And so I'm working with that energy also. And then also the energy of the phoenix. So it also is burning off things that are not necessary and intentionally bringing forward what is, with a direction of this is what's necessary for now. So these cards are really in-depth messages. They're really in-depth reads. When you look at all of the details of what's in them, like this one has a tree with an eye.
So Faith, can people buy these online or?
Yes, they're available online.
Excuse me. Okay.
Or on your website.
I'm working, yeah, but I suggest you wait about 2.5, maybe 2 more weeks, because I'm working on perfecting them so that the card quality is best.
Okay.
Better than it is now. Trust me, you want to wait.
Yeah.
Carol,
Okay.
have you seen that one from Carol? Carol
Yeah,
said,
I was just gonna say, yeah, because we
do you
neglected.
do light language?
I know light language, and I do speak when others speak light language to me. Some moments I will sing some of the light language, but I try to sing multiple languages, so that others can look them up, so that they can comprehend the words, so that they can learn multiple languages and integrate. I do love singing light language, and speaking light language tickles my tummy and brings me joy. But it's not something that has been helpful as someone who's in business, and I work with mayors, and I work with councils and school councils. I have to be able to be seen communicating in languages that are more than one language that is comprehensible, so that they comprehend that I'm saying. Light language is beautiful, and we are saying to speak light language. But if they really don't know what we're saying, and they just think that we're being adorably cute and we're saying really happy words, it's not beneficial in the placement that I have to take, in the position that I'm taking, to be able to go to the White House and to be able to help globally with creating solutions. So I have to speak either English or multiple languages and light language in my songs. I'm allowed to sing. And some moments, if I see you and you speak light language, I would speak light language to you also.
Ah, beautiful. Faith, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on Spiritual Talk.
Thank you.
We've literally run out of time. It's gone so quick, and I feel like we just scratched the surface of some of the things that you do. But we can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's been brilliant.
Thank you. Heartfelt thank you for your time. It's been...
Before you go, can you have a look at the comments down the side? Can you see some of the people's names?
There's comments there. I was wondering where all the comments are.
Yeah, people that are shared. Pick a name you're drawn to for
thank you so much for letting me do that. Thank you so much. Okay, so there have been a murder. Pamela, can I tell Pamela how to contact me so we could talk about how to solve that murder?
Oh, yes. Pamela.
Pamela, if you can message me on Messenger on Facebook. I'm Faith Mystic. The one where I'm laying, smiling at the camera is the one to write me on. The other profile I don't always see. So message me, tell me that you need help solving a murder, and we will have a conversation and a session, and we'll discuss that and do some depth help there.
Brilliant.
Let's see. Thank you for your messages. That's really sweet. Thank you very much. And yes, a fantastic interview. Is tap water okay in a copper piping? Tap water is happy with copper. And it's good. It actually helps the vibration of copper. But if it's an old piping, like old piping, and it's green, you'll want to do something about that.
Yeah.
That's like something to do. You don't want to get your copper containers so they're green, and you don't want your pipes to be green either.
Yeah.
So get them checked, make sure that they're okay. It does seem like they might need to get cleaned if they're pipes, and you're asking that question.
So actually, I've been really drawn to buying a copper cup to drink out of lately.
It's really good for us. I have lots. I actually make copper. I make crowns. I make jewelry too. I know we didn't talk about that.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, the copper is really good to drink from and also wear. It's amazing for the heart. It's amazing for the mind. It's amazing for the entire vessel. And the more they even magnifies the crystals, it magnifies the crystals.
So is there a particular copper you recommend, or like is there different types, or
just copper, real copper?
Just real natural.
Yeah, but you want to, we have to be careful. So making sure that you choose the ones that are glowing. That's how you know if they are meant for you. If you could see auras, you could see the aura of copper. And you could, if you're sensitive to feeling, you could feel the sensitivity of the copper. If the copper was mishandled or came from a source that wasn't happy, it would be felt when you see it or when you touch it. You'll acknowledge it. I do acknowledge it, and I believe that others who are sensitive to energy can also pick that up and acknowledge that. So if you are going to work with copper, make sure that you're intuitively picking it so that it is a happy copper.
So you'd be better to go and touch rather than buy one on the internet, or
if you cannot see auras online.
Okay, thank you.
And be really careful because there's fake copper too. And if it's not happy copper, it does different things. And that's why I mentioned.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Could you pick a name you're drawn to so we can offer a free reading or a free healing session?
Thank you. Yes. How about Effie?
Effie, perfect. Congratulations, Effie. She did share earlier because I saw that she shared, I believe.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And thank you for all of your messages and for sharing. Awesome. It's so beautiful. Awesome. Okay.
And it's just time. It's time to say goodbye already, guys. And we'll be back here next Wednesday, same time. Hopefully, no mishaps this time.
You can Facebook message me. I'll give you a free reading then.
Oh, fantastic! Awesome. Okay, guys, we will see you this time next week. Take care and bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.